Welcome to Echoes from the Basement, an X-Files podcast. I'm your host, Alice, and each week I revisit a classic episode of The X-Files while sharing my take on the strange and mysterious adventures of Agent Scully and Mulder. And who knows, I might even make a believer out of you. What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. I had to go to the dentist this morning, and I hated it. Good news is no cavities, which I'm kind of surprised about, even though I do brush my teeth every morning and night. But I really hate the dentist since I had to get Novocaine twice in my life, and it just hurts so bad. Now let's get into it. We are on episode 21, Tooms. We're almost done, I think, with the first season. On a dark night, we are taken to Druid Hill Sanitarium in Baltimore, Maryland. Strange noises echo through the dark hallway. All the patients are asleep, except for one, Eugene Tooms. He reaches his hand through a slot in his door. He sweats as he tries to reach the door handle. He cracks and dislocates his joints, just trying to reach it, trying to make his escape. His arm stretches and stretches, trying to still reach the door handle, but somebody walks in. A man knocks on Eugene's door. It's Dr. Monty, the psychiatrist. Eugene rises from his bed. Dr. Monty enters the room. He just wanted to check up on his patient. Are you nervous about tomorrow? The doctor asks. Don't be. I have looked at all the doctors that will testify against your release tomorrow. Everything should be fine, says Dr. Monty. Get some rest, Eugene. The doctor leaves, and the patient just stares into the darkness. At FBI HQ, Agent Scully speaks with Director Skinner and the cancer man. Skinner is not pleased with Scully's reports. The agent suggests that the X-Files should be reviewed with an open mind because they are unlike any other case. Scully says that her and Mulder have a conviction rate of 75% even though they do not follow the FBI procedures. Skinner doesn't really care though. He just wants Scully to do her job right. That means more reports, cases are done by the book, properly investigated. Scully says doing all that would decrease our success rate. Speaking of X-Files cases, Eugene is at his release hearing. A board of people call up different doctors to evaluate Eugene. Mulder is watching the case hearing take place. One by one, the doctors approach the board and discuss Eugene's psychological state. Dr. Monty even takes the stand. He talks about how his patient has turned around. The doctor taps his pen against his clipboard. The noise echoes through Eugene's ears. His eyes turn yellow and then back to black. Now it's Mulder's turn to testify. Scully enters and sits down in the back. Mulder displays a slideshow for the courtroom. It's a profile of Eugene. He says, from the early 1900s to now, Mulder lists off a bunch of homicides that were done by Eugene. Mulder gives the courtroom some lore on the patient and shows slides of different murder scenes, elongated figures that match Eugene's, and some other evidence from the crime scenes. No one in the courtroom is buying it though. Mulder continues that Eugene is a liver thief and can contort his body to gain access into people's homes. Mulder essentially gets booed by everyone in the courtroom as he pleads for the judge not to let Eugene out. Mulder basically sums up that Eugene is this creature that has lived for hundreds of years and he's immortal. Who's going to believe that? Mulder says if you release Eugene Tooms, he will kill again. Scully joins Mulder outside where he's waiting for her. Mulder, your testimony sounded, I don't care how it sounded, Mulder says. Everyone in the courtroom thought Mulder should also be admitted into a mental hospital, but he doesn't care. It's the truth, and that's what matters. Where were you? Mulder asks. Scully fills in Mulder about her meeting with Skinner. He just wanted to reel me in, the agent says. Mulder and Scully enter the courtroom where Eugene's final verdict is about to be made. Will he stay in the mental hospital, or will he be released back into society? The panel makes their decision. He is released, but not without some rules. The judge says he must continue treatment with Dr. Monte. keep his job at the animal shelter, and stay with Mr. and Mrs. Arlene Green, 2 people who are trained to help him. I'm not taking my eyes off him. He needs to kill. Tooms didn't remain a secret for 100 years by not being careful, Mulder tells Scully on their way out. Okay, I'll watch him with you, Scully adds. No. If we can't tie him to these murders, you're going to need to look at the older ones. Well, Mulder, they're from 30 to 60 years ago. Mulder says there's no statute of limitations on murder. Scully is hesitant to seek this case any further because it would require strategies that are not by the book. She's just going to get yelled at for Skinner for this. Mulder ends up peer pressuring her into it anyway, like he always does. The 2 agents watch Eugene as he takes his first free steps back into society. The man smiles at the 2 agents, mocking them. Eugene has started his new job at the Animal Control Services. He gets out of his car and picks a dead rat off the side of the road. He then puts his fingers in his mouth to taste the rat, which is insanely gross. Before Eugene gets in the car, he spots his next target, a young blonde woman. He creepily stares at her, not even blinking as she's getting coffee so carelessly. He slowly approaches her as she starts to walk towards him. His eyes glow yellow. Eugene locks in on her. Lunchtime, he thinks to himself. Mulder jumps in between them. Excuse me, could you help me find my pet, please? Please, my pet is lost. Eugene walks away disappointed and pissed off. A man crumples up a piece of paper with Eugene on it at the Laney Acres retirement home. It's the officer, Detective Briggs, who worked on Eugene's case over a decade ago. If Tooms takes another life, you'll be my age next time you see him. Scully tries to console the old man. She's there to ask for his help. They need to prove that those early murders were done by Eugene. There must be something you can think of to connect all the victims, Scully pleads. There was something, the detective says. All of the victims I investigated were found at the crime scenes with their livers extracted. All 5, the officer adds. At another crime scene, only 4 of the victims were found there. He goes on to say that there was a 5th person who was never found. He then takes a jar from a box that was found at the Ruxton chemical plant. He hands the jar to Scully. It doesn't belong to the other victims. Someone's liver is in that jar, but whose liver is it? Scully doesn't believe him that the liver is connected to Eugene. The detective is adamant that Eugene took this liver and hid the body somewhere because something was off about it. This would be the proof that Scully needs to convict Eugene. Scully asks, well, what makes you so positive? The police officers double down and says, source, do just trust me. Trust your instincts. Where do you think Eugene buried the body? Scully asks. In the cement where they poured the foundation, Detective Briggs states. Agent Scully and the detective used ground-penetrating radar on the floor of the chemical plant to search for the body. Scully goes over the process with Detective Briggs as the technician continues to look. The agent asks the operator, what has he found? Detective Briggs takes matters into his own hands. He investigates the chemical plant on his own. He wheels himself around a bit and exclaims, it's here! It's right here! Scully and the operator race over. It's right here! Meanwhile, Mulder is stalking Eugene. The freed patient eyes another victim, an older man walking on the street. Eugene's eyes turn yellow. His hunger grows as he watches the man enter his car. Scully and the detective are still at the chemical plant. They are trying to dig up the body. Jackhammers fire away as Scully and Briggs look on. A man calls Scully over. A bony finger with a wedding ring is peeking out of the dirt. Briggs was right. They found the victim. I guess you always have to trust your gut. Even if there's no evidence that something's going to be there, always trust yourself. The man from earlier arrives at his home. Eugene is right behind him, but so is Mulder. We get a sneak peek of the man and his family safely tucked away in their home, or so they think. Mulder sits outside for hours just watching Eugene's van. The agent exits his car to check out the vehicle. Mulder shines his flashlight through the man windows. He opens the back. Nothing. Crash. We hear a sewer plate hit the road surface. The wife of the home is getting ready for bed and is using the restroom. The toilet starts to bubble. She examines it and tries to use the tool to unclog her toilet. More bubbles continue. Something is climbing up her pipes. Mulder is outside the home looking for Eugene. A pair of dirty hands opens up a window into the home. Eugene squeezes his way in. He watches the older man from the darkness while his eyes grow yellow. Mulder knocks on the door. FBI, open up, he announces. There's an intruder in your home. He races up the stairs where the two men find an open window. Mulder finds a handprint on the windowsill. The agent races outside trying to catch Eugene, but he escapes. The next day, Scully meets a scientist working at the Smithsonian Institute in Forensic Anthropology to look at the piece of concrete that the body is resting in. He states that the body is from the mid-1930s. Strangely enough, they found pennies in the body. Can you tell me the cause of death? Scully asks. No, there's no proof of murder, the scientist states. He found something also interesting. There's gnawing marks on the ribs, but the facility needs to do some more research to determine the cause of death. The scientist says he did try something, but off the record. He says that Mr. Briggs gave him a photo of the missing person from 1933. He ran it through the computer system with the image of the skull that was in the concrete. The person in the picture and the skull match. We see a man with black hair and glasses, and we see his skull on the other side. Scully shows Mulder the picture. Sadly, he says this isn't enough evidence. The two agents are sitting in Mulder's car, wondering what they will do with Eugene. He hasn't come out of the house all day, Mulder says. The agent has been sitting outside Eugene's home all day, just watching and waiting. Scully brings up her concerns with Mulder. You do know that it's protocol that two agents need to be here for a proper stakeout. Someone needs to relieve you after 12 hours. You haven't slept in 3 days, Mulder. Scully then volunteers to take over surveillance for Mulder. They're trying to end the X-Files, Scully. I don't care about my record, I care about yours. I would hate to see you in trouble because of me, Mulder says. Scully replies, I would never put myself on the line for anybody but you, Mulder, which is insanely sweet. Scully urges Mulder to go home and get some rest. The agent is hesitant, but he does. The two agents go their separate ways. We see Mulder drive off, and suspiciously, his trunk closes out of nowhere. Mulder drove back to his apartment and fell asleep on the couch. While he was dreaming, something is watching him from the darkest corner of his room. It's the vents. A squeak can be heard of someone unscrewing the plate. Squeak, squeak. The screws become looser and looser. Mulder looks around and goes back to sleep. A dark figure creeps around the apartment. It's Eugene. He stares at Mulder while causing an injury to his face. Now, Eugene is at the hospital. A cop found him wandering about. Someone has beaten him up. The doctor examines him and says you have a broken ribs, jaw, and other injuries, with a partial shoe print on your face. Do you know who did this to you? The doctor asks. Eugene whispers a name in her ear. While the doctor and cop are discussing Eugene's case, the patient pops his shoulder back into place without even flinching. A knock at Mulder's door wakes him up. It's the officer from the hospital. Mulder lets him in. He's confused. What's going on? Another cop grabs a pair of muddy sneakers and examines them. What's this about? Agent Mulder, you're coming with us. You're in trouble. Mulder steps on a loose screw on his way out the door. Eugene, he thinks as he examines the item. The name Eugene had told the doctor was Agent Mulder. Mulder and Scully meet with Director Skinner and the cancer man at FBI HQ. This is incriminating evidence, Agent Mulder, Skinner states. The agent suggests that Eugene is framing him. The evidence is not matching. Skinner rebuttals, how would you not have seen him, Mulder? Scully covers for the agent, saying that they were both together while Eugene was at the hospital. You won't be lying to me, Scully, Skinner fires back. Don't we have trust here? I'm not lying, Scully states. Skinner and Mulder talk privately. You are one of the most finest agents here. Your talents are being wasted on the X-Files. I advise you step away, Skinner says. Thanks for your concern, Mulder replies back. The director forbids Mulder from being even in the same area as Eugene. Mulder, a different voice calls out. This was a close one. The cancer man adds insults to injury. Scully observes Eugene's dental x-rays. The scientist from before mentioned gnawing on the ribs of the chemical plant victim, later to be found as human teeth marks, Agent Scully tells Mulder. The two agents create a model of Eugene's teeth using his dental records. The two agents and the scientist look on the computer, which makes a mouth and a teeth. They chomp down on the ribs. It's a match. Eugene is nesting again. He tears each newspaper into individual strips. There's a knock on the door. Dr. Monty arrives. He wants to know how everything is going. The doctor walks around Eugene's room, asking his patient many questions, with no answer back. Eugene just stares at him, hunger growing again. The two talk about art and how proud Dr. Monte is of Eugene. Then it happens again. The hunger takes over. Eugene's eyes start to glow yellow, and Dr. Monte screams in terror. Scully and Mulder race to Eugene's house. They knock on the door, but no answer. The door is suspiciously open. They enter with their weapons drawn. The agents enter Eugene's room. They shine their flashlights and see Dr. Monte dead. That makes 5 murders, Mulder states. The agents examine the newspaper strips. Now Eugene will hibernate for 30 years, Scully adds. Where would he go? 66 Exeter Street, Mulder replies. But before the agents could leave, Scully blurts out that they have torn his apartment down. The two agents run to the old apartment complex where Eugene has nested before. It's now a super mall. Scully theorizes that since Eugene has a connection to this place, his nest would be in the same spot it was the last time. The two agents walk around in the pitch-black mall until they reach the area Eugene had nested before. The two found a trapdoor at the bottom of an escalator. Mulder volunteers to go down the shaft by himself, since it only fits one person. Personally, I wouldn't. It looks tight and claustrophobic. Mulder wiggles himself down into the vent area, where he finds green and yellow bile. The agent reaches an area covered in goo. Scully cries out for Mulder, but he continues to crawl in green goo to reach Eugene's nest. Mulder looks around to search for Eugene when 2 hands grab him out of nowhere. The 2 men struggle. The agent tries to crawl away, but Eugene is right behind him. He reaches for Scully's hand. Eugene is violently crawling to get Mulder. Boom! Mulder is pulled away at the last minute before he can reach Scully's hands. The two continue to fight, but Mulder kicks the monster in the face. Scully helps him up. Mulder turns on the escalator, and Eugene is killed. And that's it. This episode is totally cool, and it's really interesting to see Eugene Tooms again. I can't believe they brought him on, because not a lot of monsters making a second appearance on the X-Files. What do you guys think Eugene is? Maybe a superhuman, a monster, or something else? And what did you guys think of the episode? Let me know in the comments. And thanks for listening, all you truth seekers, abductees, and X-Files enthusiasts. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the show. And remember, the truth is out there. You just have to find it.